Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those who don't identify as either, you are listening to Ratchet and Respectable. Apologies for my voice. I'm still sick. People could hear it in last week's episode. I thought I sounded like kind of okay. I run all the episodes through a program that cleans up the audio, but even still, people could tell my voice was a little off. But yeah, like I've been sick since the last time we spoke. Like I was coming down with something on Tuesday, and by Wednesday, I was full blown like fucked up. So I've been like literally like bedridden for the last couple days, and I'm all medded up and whatnot. I'm on the upswing now. I feel much better than what I sound like. To me, I sound nasally, so sorry about that. It's only been a couple days since the last time we spoke, but it feels like a full month has passed. It's been so much going on. The political news cycle is dominating everything, which is a good sign. Remember last episode, I was very much like, I don't know about this whole decision with Kamala. I support it. Like, I don't have a choice but to at this point. But I'm still just very nervous about the outcome and, like what's going to happen. It's all moving so fast. I've adjusted. I feel energized about her. I think watching all the people fundraise and organize and come together. I'll tell you the moment that it really hit for me. I was scrolling on Instagram and I saw her first campaign ad, and it's set to Beyonce's Freedom. The imagery and the editing and the song. The last clip is a picture of Kamala and Beyonce singing "A Winner Don't Quit on Themselves." And I was like, oh, we might be on to something now. Marketing does matter, and Madam VP right now is doing an excellent job, at least for my demographic. I'm part of the demographic that absolutely gets up and goes to vote. Will show up early consistently and stand in line. So it's working for me. I've been having conversations on social with folks, even the people who are just like, still girl, I guess, about her. There's some policies that she has that they are just not on board with, but they're also very much like never Trump. So they're like, I will go to the booth and vote begrudgingly, but I will be there nonetheless. And I was like, I thank you for it. I'm a cat lady, as JD Vance, the Republican vice presidential candidate, likes to call women who don't have children. And I don't really cook or clean. I mean, I can, but these are not things that I enjoy doing and I'm really not that great at. And the Handmaid's Tale version of America, the Gilead version of America that he envisions, I'm not going to end up in like the green dress. I'm not going to be like of Fred's wife. At my age, and because I've never had children, I'm not going to be a handmaid. I'm not going to be a Martha. So like they want to send me out to the colonies. So for the folks that are enthused to vote like me, absolutely wonderful. For the folks that are doing so begrudgingly, thank you for keeping me from the colonies. I appreciate you. It's been a wild, I want to say week or month, really, because that's how it feels to me. But it's been so crazy. Very shortly after Biden announced that he wasn't running for re-election, there was this meme going around. Meme, is that the right word? Yeah, let's call it a meme. But there was this note to Black women going around encouraging Black women to just guard themselves. And they were like, the next couple months are going to be crazy with the misogyny and the racism. It's going to be a huge double whammy. So make sure you have access to safe spaces or therapy if you need it, because it's going to be really, really bad. And many other women expressed this sentiment, and they were like, we're Black women. We deal with the intersectionality of racism and sexism. Have you ever read the comment section on the internet? Like, how much worse could it get? Oh boy. I'm not shocked by a lot. We lived through the campaign of Hillary Clinton and it got really sexist and crazy there. And then also Michelle Obama, when she was being attacked relentlessly for everything from being an angry Black woman to her arms, for them being too muscular, for her actually showing them her facial features, trying to, what is the word for, like for men trying to make them feminine, it's emasculate. What is the word for trying to make a woman more masculine? I don't know. I gotta look that up. I'm sure one exists. But I was like, oh, we've lived through this before. Kamala Harris has brought out the absolute batshit. It's not just people in internet comment sections. It's actual news commentators, people you expect just a little bit more of, men and women. I saw some show, this man referred to Kamala Harris like the original Haktua girl, which you seen the clip of the white chick talking about she liked to spit on the dick, Haktua, and then, go at it. I'm like, you really said that about not even just this woman running for office, but the sitting vice president of the United States. You have no boundaries, no. And like, and what is it based on? Because she didn't get married until quote unquote late. So she has a dating history. To my knowledge, and I'm sure it would have come out by now, everything that she may or may not have done, because we don't know her business. It's not our business. But anything that she may or may not have done, consensual adults. Can Trump say the same? Because he owes E. Jean Carroll either 83.3 or 83.4 million American USD dollars in dineros. He was found civilly liable of assaulting her in a high-end department store dressing room and then defamed her after that. That's where a big chunk of the money comes from. But I'm like, you were recorded on video camera. We can see your face talking about how you like to grab women by the pussy, serve. That's called assault. They're so concerned about a grown woman's hypothetical sex life of which they know nothing about, but they're not concerned about the candidate who has literally been found liable of assault, who is literally on camera talking about assaulting women. It doesn't make sense because it's not supposed to. It's misogyny. You hold women to a higher standard than you ever do men. But I'm just like, consensual sex versus assault. But they don't care that this man is a criminal. He's been convicted of 34 felonies. They don't care. They just don't want a woman, a black woman in particular, to be president of the United States. I saw, it was a blonde woman. I don't know if it was Megyn Kelly, but it sounds like some shit that would come out of her mouth. But she's like, I'm not trying to slut shame, but she slept her way to the top. How do you sleep your way to the top as an elected official? Did you fuck everyone who voted for you? Millions of constituents. Like she slept with all of them to get their vote? Is that how that happened? I think that stems from an old relationship she had literally in her 20s. Kamala Harris is 59 years old, but in her 20s, and we talked about this, one of the early episodes of Ratchet and Respectable. She dated a man in California who's very powerful. He's a former mayor. And this came up when she was running for president. People were like, well, she dated this man and he was married. The man had been separated from his wife for like a good 10, 12, if not longer, years by the time Kamala dated him. And it wasn't like, he was estranged from his wife and then she was the next person he dated. So people were like, oh, she's a homewrecker. Like, no, he'd been through a string of women. But this whole thing came up back then. And he wrote this op-ed. This was 2019. But he wrote this op-ed for the San Francisco Chronicle. And the title was, Sure, I dated Kamala Harris. So what? He says, yes, I may have influenced her career by appointing her to 2 state commissions when I was Assembly Speaker. He said, I certainly helped with her first race for district attorney in San Francisco. But he also notes, I have also helped the careers of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, then House Speaker. Again, this is from 2019. He says, I've also helped the careers of House Speaker Nancy Pelosi, Governor Gavin Newsom, Senator Dianne Feinstein, and a host of other politicians. He's a rainmaker. As of today, he is 90 years old. He's been in politics forever and a day. He knows California politics through and through. He makes ish happen for people that he wants to make ish happen for. It's not going to stop. People keep going on and on about Kamala Harris. Oh, she's a DEI hire because she's a woman and she's a Black and Indian woman. Like she's unqualified. Trump literally had never held political office before he was elected to president of the United States. Never been elected to shit. Oh, she's stupid. She can't speak. She's literally a lawyer. She was literally elected to the Senate. You never saw any of the clips from her in the Senate going at people when they fucked up. You never saw any of those. Like her methodical, kind of diabolical, but still, that's the job. Her methodical way of going in on people. Like she can't speak. Really? They just throwing everything at the wall. We don't like her laugh. Y'all sound real like Kendrick Lamar and Drake. I don't like the way you talk. I don't like the way you walk. I don't like the way you dress. Really? Grow the fuck up. Oh my God. I knew it was going to be bad. But I was like, at the point that you're criticizing the way somebody laughs, Black people can't be happy. Y'all can't throw an angry Black woman stereotype at her because, like, literally she's laughing all the time. Now you're mad that she's happy. Oh. But despite all of these negative attacks, Madam Vice President is making huge inroads with her campaign. Last week we talked about Black women for Kamala. I don't know what the numbers were on that call. I kept seeing everybody post, say like I was one of the 44,000. But I've also seen people be like, oh, there were 80,000 people on the call. It's taking mythic proportions at this point. There were the Black women for Kamala. Then there were the Black men for Kamala. There were the gay Black men for Kamala. Maybe it was 2 nights ago, but they raised a bunch of money for Kamala. White women, they got on a call. They're reporting that the white women's call, it was over 100,000 women. They're saying that's the first Zoom for more than 100,000 people, like ever in the history of Zoom. I saw something else like cat ladies for Kamala, and I was like, look, I don't know if this is a joke or y'all are serious, but y'all give me a time and a day, I will be on cat ladies for Kamala. That man pissed me off so bad with that comment. If you didn't see the video clip, it's JD Vance. The interview was from 3 years ago, but he's disparaging Kamala Harris, Pete Buttigieg, and somebody else. I can't remember the third person, but he's saying that it's all these people with no children who are in leadership. Because they don't have children, they're not fully invested in the future. And then he goes on to say that parents with children, the children should have a vote and they should be able to vote in lockstep with their parents. But he's saying that childless women, women only, not men, but gay men, yes, but straight men, no, shouldn't have the same representation in voting because we don't have children. And so we don't have the same investment in America's future. And I was like, hello, hi. I'm alive. I live in America. I mean, I did like the first 40 and change years. And then I started bopping overseas. But my driver's license is in America. My permanent address is in America. My bank accounts are in America. The taxes that I pay are in America and in Maryland. I'm a business owner. I don't only get paid, I also pay others. I very much have an investment here, a financial investment in this country. If you knew what I paid in taxes last year, like I am invested. That I don't deserve an equal vote. Like, are we on some like 3/5 compromise again? Like women with no children, and at any given time, we actually make up the majority of women. And I'm like, and this is who you choose to insult? Women can still vote, right? I'm so disgusted. And in addition to all of this, Kamala Harris is a mom. She's a bonus mom. She is married to a man who has children. They call her Mamala. She is a stepmom. And the idea that she's not a mom because she didn't birth people and that means that she's not equipped to be president, none of the previous presidents have birthed anybody either. Did they have children? Perhaps. Did they birth them? Absolutely not. So why does this all of a sudden matter with her? And the crazy thing about this too is like, I remember when Hillary was running, one of the things that was levied against her, and they were like, oh, you're a grandmother. Like, why don't you go sit down somewhere and like play with your grandchildren? It was a penalty to her that she actually had a child. Nobody ever says that to a man. I think maybe not until Biden. He had to be 80 and pushing through on his last leg before somebody was like, hey, you need to go sit down. Summer should be about fun. Summer should be fun, not financially stressful. With the Chime Secured Credit Builder Visa credit card, it's easy to start building credit with everyday purchases and regular on-time payments with no annual fees or interest. And if your credit scores grow, so could your opportunities for lower rates on loans, like for a car or home. With Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card, there are no annual fees, interest, or even a credit check to apply. And you can use it everywhere Visa credit cards are accepted. You get to build credit using your own money. What I love about Chime is you can also get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit. They also have access to 60,000 fee-free ATMs. That's more than the top 3 national banks combined. With Chime's secure credit card, you can improve your credit scores all summer long. Get started today at chime.com/ratchet. That's chime.com/ratchet. Chime feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank North America or Stride Bank North America. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Terms and conditions apply. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. I'm the kind of person who never shows up empty-handed. So my go-to host gift is a fantastic bottle of wine. And as a First Leaf member, I always have the perfect bottle on hand to share. First Leaf isn't your average wine club. It's better. With each shipment, I get a personalized selection of wines from all over the world, handpicked just for me. But by far the best thing about First Leaf is how much I can tailor my membership to my needs. I can choose between 6 or 12 bottles, decide how many reds or whites I want, and select a shipping window that works for my schedule. And if I've got a barbecue, happy hour, or family dinner, I can opt for First Leaf's Fine Wine Upgrade to get a really special bottle that's sure to impress. Plus, if I ever need a little extra help picking out a wine that everyone will love, I can get free advice from First Leaf's Wine Concierge. It's a foolproof way to know you're getting the right wine for any and every occasion. I am partial to reds and rosés. That's what I always ask for in my shipments, and First Leaf has not let me down. I love their wines, and more important, the people I gift them to love them equally as much. So get wines to sip and share all summer long with First Leaf. Go to tryfirstleaf.com/ratchet to sign up, and you'll get your first 6 handpicked bottles for just $44.95. That's tryfirstleaf.com/ratchet. Tryfirstleaf.com/ratchet. They clapping back on Trump, though. That's one of the things I like about the Harris campaign. It's petty. She's taking a high road, higher than Trump, higher than the MAGA Republicans. And I make a distinction between just saying Republicans and MAGA Republicans. Because Trump, like after the RNC with like Hulk Hogan and Amber Rose and that whole like rap video they showed, an updated version of Ice Ice Baby. Like Amber, sweetie, what bills are due? You couldn't ask Wiz for a little help? Y'all got a child together. You couldn't find a new rapper to fuck to help you pay some bills? Because sis, that was low. That was low, even for you. Could you imagine Bush or Reagan doing a video like that at the RNC? I'm not pro-Republican in any form or fashion, but the branding of Republican used to be, we are elite, we are wealthy, we are above everybody else. Could you imagine Hulk Hogan or Amber Rose? Like, Nancy Reagan would never. Now you're running a VP that lies about being a hillbilly, which, like, who the fuck lies about being a hillbilly? It's like these suburban PG County guys that like try to pretend they're hard. I'm like, you're not hard. You grew up in a brick house and both your parents have government jobs. Stop it. They want to do this gutter like trailer park version of Republicans. This is how you want to be branded? Gold toilet man, Amber Rose, Hulk Hogan. It's very lowbrow. It's very trailer park. It's very proudly uneducated. Like it's they going out bad. But the support for Vice President Harris is like, it seems to be terrifying Republicans, obviously because they're scraping the bottom of the barrel to attack her. Trump has pulled out of the debates. And just to re-clarify, this has all happened in the last 2 days. I know the listeners from overseas got to be like, girl, what? Trump had pulled out of the debates. There was a scheduled debate he had with Harris. His press person released a letter. I could give you the gist of it. I want to read it to you because it sounds like a child wrote it. I was like, y'all realize we're adults, right? Like, we should actually be having some sort of civil discourse, but no. Where did I see it posted? I think it was on Joy Reid's page. Joy Reid has been like positively giddy ever since Biden stepped aside. This is the official statement from the Trump Vance ticket. It says, given the continued political chaos surrounding crooked Joe Biden and the Democratic Party, general election debate details cannot be finalized until Democrats formally decide on their nominee. Vice President Harris had all the delegates that she needed to win the nomination, something like 24 hours, 36 hours after Joe Biden stepped aside. The DNC is pretty much just a formality at this point. He goes on to say, there is a strong sense by many in the Democratic Party, namely Barack Hussein Obama, really, his whole name? That Kamala Harris is a Marxist fraud who cannot beat President Trump. How the hell would Donald Trump know what Barack Hussein Obama is thinking? They hate each other. Barack has never come out and said it because he's too diplomatic. Madam Michelle has all but said it in 50 billion ways. Like, remember she showed up to Trump's inauguration and she didn't even get her hair done? She had a snatchback ponytail. And she said in her book why. She had a really good explanation. Somebody had shot at the White House and there was notable damage. And she was like, the rhetoric that he has put out there that has riled these people up and convinced him that my husband is other, that my family is other, that we are not deserving or worthy and don't belong in this White House has literally brought physical violence to my doorstep. So yeah, she don't like his ass. And there's no possible way Barack could either. That man spent the whole first part of Barack's election campaign trying to tell people he wasn't really American. You were born in Hawaii. You're not a real American. It's a fake birth certificate. Barack had to go pull his actual birth certificate. Trump says the Democrats are still holding out for someone, quote and unquote, better. It says, therefore, it would be inappropriate to schedule things with Harris because Democrats very well could still change their minds. And this is from Stephen Chung, Trump campaign communications director. Sir, I wrote more cohesively, coherently, and without crazy shit when I was in high school. What the fuck is this? This is real letterhead. Like, I saw it on somebody else's page before I saw it on Joy's, and I was like, oh, haha, the internet is making jokes again. And then, like, I saw it on Joy, and she was like, no, this is the real document that they released to, like, the media and, like, the public. Okay. So yeah, he's pulled out of the debates. To credit, I will give him credit. Prior to last Sunday, there did seem to be a crisis. There did seem to be mass chaos. Since Sunday, we're at Friday now. Very quickly, folks have gelled and followed in line. Like, it really much does feel one band, one sound, one voice. Folks are on board. We're marching. We're raising money. We're focused. This is a good thing. The Republicans, to me, look like they're running scared. I hope that I'm not just in a bubble of support. I have to keep saying this. I'm being honest about how I feel. I remember thinking, like, there's no possible way Trump could win over Hillary. And I said this on Facebook the other day, and somebody pointed out, and they were like, well, technically, Hillary did win the popular vote by like 3 million. The Electoral College fucked her up. The majority of Americans did want HRC for president over Trump. I just don't want to get caught in that bubble again where I'm just like, oh, I see all this positivity. I see this excitement. I see this joy. I definitely see people pushing back, but it's not with the same intensity, I would say, even of HRC. It's definitely not the intensity that people had like last week, literally last week, about Joe Biden. And there's always going to be pushback. That is what it is. But I see a lot of people rallying in support and seemingly on board and excited and enthusiastic. And I was like, I hope this momentum continues. The good thing about Kamala Harris coming into the campaign with, I don't know, like a little over 100 days to go, like what are we at day 103, 102 right now, is that it's not a long stretch. Campaigning for over a year, there's a lot of wear and tear. They've got a shorter time period, which means less room for forgiveness for big mistakes. Because sometimes you could do something at the beginning of campaign, you could correct it by the end. People forget what happened at the beginning. If you fuck up now, people are going to remember it by November. But if you can run like a nice, tight campaign with few errors, because there are going to be some, that just is what it is, but few errors, I think she might be able to pull this thing off. I'm still scared to get my hopes up, because that crash after HRC was bad, so bad. I see a sparkle. I see a glimmer. I don't see the light at the end of the tunnel yet, but I see the possibility that if we keep digging, we could see something sometime soon.
Today's episode is brought to you by Angie. Angie has made it easier than ever to connect with skilled professionals to get all your jobs and projects done well. Let me tell you, there's the version of it where you try to do something at home, and then there's a version of it where you have someone help you, you watch them do it the right way, and you go, thank God I didn't try to do that myself. I have fully done things around the home that I think look good, and then a bang in the night, and I wake up to a shelf collapsing, a painting falling off the wall. I've seen it all go south. I own a home, and I can tell you, I know how much work it can take. Whether it's everyday maintenance and repairs or making dream projects a reality, it can be hard just to know where to start. But now all you need to do is Angie that and find a skilled local pro who will deliver the quality and expertise you need. Whatever your home project, big or small, indoor or outdoor, you can Angie that and connect with skilled professionals to get the project done well. Right now, one of my wish lists is I want a bike for my condo in Milwaukee, and I would love to rig it up on a pulley in the ceiling because I have one of those like lofted ceilings, but I'm so scared to try that on my own. Angie has 20 years of home experience, and they've combined it with new tools to simplify the whole process. Bring them your project online or with the Angie app. Answer a few questions and Angie can handle the rest from start to finish, or help you compare quotes from multiple pros and connect instantly, which means you can take care of any home project in just a few taps. Because when it comes to getting the most out of your home, you can do this when you Angie that. Download the free Angie mobile app today or visit Angie.com. That's ANGI.com.
I know that none of you watch porn, but just in case you have any friends that do, help me pass along this important PSA. Incognito mode does not make you incognito. Check the fine print. All your late night activities are still 100% visible to a ton of third parties, unless you use ExpressVPN. Protect your online privacy today by visiting expressvpn.com/ratchet. That's expressvpn.com/ratchet. And you can get an extra 3 months free. expressvpn.com/ratchet.
A little bit of non-politics. I didn't realize my Kamala section was going to go so long, but it feels very frivolous to talk about other things when it's like, this big, big, big thing just happened. Also, when y'all was hitting me up on vacation to be like, D, come back. I want somebody to do that to you. Like, it's your job. I don't know what your job is, but I want you to be on vacation and somebody be like, come back, come back, come back. And be like, go fuck yourselves. No. You know how that feels. Some people think my life is like a whole vacation. I'm like, when I'm not recording the podcast, like I do like other things. There might be things I enjoy doing and are pretty fun, but it's also like work. Just FYI. But no, the Emmy nods came out last week. The Emmys are not until September, so I don't want to go too deep because I feel like we're going to just go over all of this again, either right before the Emmys or right after the Emmys to talk about who won. Some of my favorite shows, favorite actors have been nominated. I'm looking at the Hollywood Reporter only because I tried to go to the Emmy site and it's so difficult to go through that it's just no. Jesse Collins is one of the producers of the show, which means there will be Black people. Thank you, Jesse. I feel like I watch a lot of TV, and then like the Emmys list came out and I was like, wow, no, haven't seen that, haven't even heard of that, have no interest in that. Let's get into it. In terms of nominees, I'm just going to go in order of the stuff that's listed on the Hollywood Reporter. Best Drama Series, The Crown, Netflix. I agree. Fallout, never heard of it. Can anybody write in with a review of Fallout? Is it worth watching? The Gilded Age, HBO, my favorite show on television. If you are not watching The Gilded Age, you are absolutely 110% missing out. The Morning Show. I watched the first season of The Morning Show and really enjoyed it. And then it picked back up with season 2. And I was just like, But it's like a few seasons in now. People swear by it. Mr. and Mrs. Smith, that's the one with Childish Gambino. No desire. Clearly, it's got an Emmy nod. Best Drama Series. Shogun, I tried. So many people wrote in and was like, oh my God, you have to be watching Shogun. It's so good. It's so good. I tried 3 times to get into it and I can't. It also took me 3 times to get into House of Cards. I didn't get into it in the beginning. The same thing with Snowfall. It took me 3, maybe 4 times to get into Snowfall. And then I had to push through the first couple episodes. And then obviously I think those are 2 of the best shows ever made. Snowfall all the way through. House of Cards, that last season, Kevin Spacey fucked it up with touching on folks, harassing folks, assaulting folks at work. So the writers had to scramble, but still. The first 5 seasons were amazing. Slow Horses on Apple TV, never heard of it. 3 Body Problem on Netflix, never heard of it. Can somebody talk to me about Slow Horses or 3 Body Problem? I'm not opposed. If you give me a compelling reason, I'll at least try to get through the pilot. Best Actress in a Drama Series. I can safely say none of these people are Black. Although my favorite, Carrie Coon, Mrs. Russell from The Gilded Age, I love her. She's probably my favorite character after Peggy. Best Actor in a Drama Series, Idris Elba for Hijack. Wait, Hijack didn't get Best Drama Series? I guess it's a limited series, but Hijack was so good. Also in this category, Donald Glover, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm actually mad at him. It's the Usher tribute. It's not his fault per se. BET asked him to do it. He said, yes, he performed. Most entertainers are not going to turn down an opportunity to perform. But I'm like, really? You should have turned that down, bro. Like, I'm mad at how bad he was in the Usher tribute. Like, it's upsetting my spirit. Dominic West, he played Prince Charles in The Crown. I'm a root for Idris Elba because Idris Elba is my guy. He's our husband, according to his wife. But Dominic West played his ass off as Prince Charles. That's a toughie. Best Supporting Actress, Christine Baranski in The Gilded Age. She's really good. She plays one of the aunties. Nicole Bahari, The Morning Show. Everybody Black. I'm sure there may be other people on this list. A bunch of people from The Morning Show. Like literally 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people for The Morning Show have been nominated for Best Supporting Actress. I guess it must be good. Elizabeth Debicki in The Crown. Who did she play? Oh, she played Diana. Oh, that was a good Diana. That's probably who I would root for in this category. Best Supporting Actor in a Drama, Jonathan Pryce in The Crown. Oh, he played Prince Charles. He did a good Prince Charles. I literally haven't watched anything else in this category to compare it to. I guess I'm going to have to watch Shogun because it's on here 50 million times. Best Guest Actress in a Drama Series. Michaela Coles and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I had no idea. The Morning Show and Mr. and Mrs. Smith. These actors and actresses are nominated in like every category. I'm actually going to have to like break down and watch the show. Claire Foy. Oh, it's Queen Elizabeth. Yeah, she knocked it out the park. Best Comedy Series. I haven't watched most of these. Abbott Elementary, I did watch. I watched it late. The Bear. People keep telling me to watch The Bear. I just cannot get into it. Palm Royal on Apple TV is on this list. I've heard good things about that. I heard it was a good budget, well spent with great fashion. Speaking of Abbott Elementary, Best Actress in a Comedy Series, Quinta Brunson for Abbott Elementary, Io Itabiri for The Bear. I keep wanting to watch it because of her. I like her in interviews. I just can't get into it. I did start watching Loot the other day. Maya Rudolph is on this list. Best Actress in a Comedy Series. I'm only on episode, I think 3. It's based on Bezos and his wife. I mean, the concept. Then it goes crazy from there. But very, very mega rich people are married. Wife finds out husband's having an affair, divorces him, and has to figure out what to do with her life. So far, so good. I like Maya Rudolph. Like, she's just quirky and funny and fun and all those things. Best Supporting Actor in a Comedy, Tyler James Williams from Abbott Elementary, a.k.a. Adult Everybody Loves Chris. I loves him. I loves him and Quinta. Best Supporting Actress in a Comedy, Cheryl Lee Ralph, Abbott Elementary. She's going up against Meryl Streep for Only Murders in the Building. I've seen this title come up a bunch too. It's on Hulu. Have not watched. I guess I need to because I really like Meryl Streep. Oh, Janelle James is also in here too from Abbott Elementary. She reminds me Michelle Huff. She's a really well-known publicist. She's been my publicist off and on for years. I only keep a publicist when I'm doing big projects. But I love me some Michelle. Janelle James and Michelle Huff speak in the same cadence. When I started watching Abbott Elementary, it was driving me insane for like the entire first season, trying to figure out who this woman's voice reminded me of so bad. It was on the tip of my tongue and I just couldn't get it. And then Michelle hit me out the blue one day and was like, when are you coming back to the States? Because blah, 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 blah. And I was like, it's you. She reminds me of you. Michelle is from Baltimore. Janelle James is not from Baltimore. I don't know how they got the same cadence, but they do. Anybody who knows Michelle Huff is about to go watch this and be like, oh shit, it's the same voice. Best Guest Actor in a Comedy Series, John Barenthal from The Bear. I loves him. I met him in person. I interviewed him. He did a show for HBO about Baltimore cops. He was also Shane from The Walking Dead. That's when I first fell in love with him. He likes Black people. He's married to a white woman and they have 3 beautiful children. But he's also from DC. And when I met him, I was like, oh, you're from DC? I was like, oh, I'm from PG. And he was like, oh, yeah, I spent a lot of time in PG. Then he starts running off these various places, like all Black. And then I spent some time down in Atlanta. And I was like, tell me you date Black women without telling me you date Black women. He also has a lot of Black people energy, but like organic Black people energy, not like Vanilla Ice Black people, but like Eminem, where you was just like in the spaces. I know when people have been around Black people. Matthew Broderick, again, Only Murders in the Building. I'm going to have to watch it. I love Matthew Broderick because of Ferris Bueller. That was the best thing that man could have ever done for his career. That was like 30, if not 40 some odd years ago. Ferris Bueller is definitely an 80s movie. Endeared him in the hearts of viewers forever. Best Guest Actress in a Comedy Series. There's some names I recognize. Divine Joy Randolph. Only Murders in the Building. I need to see her in something else. What's the movie? The Holdovers? And I went and watched it because she won so many awards. And I was like, let me see this epic role that this Black woman is performing in. And then I saw it and was like, this is it? I ain't mad at her. I want sis to get all her awards. I want sis to get all her wins. But I was just like, it's very on theme for what white folks tend to celebrate Black people for. Maya Rudolph, she's nominated for Loop, but she's also nominated for Saturday Night Live. Probably for playing Kamala Harris, now that I think about it. Oh, she gonna have some good checks coming up, huh? Let's see, what else do we have? Best limited or anthology series. I've literally watched nothing on this list. I can't comment. Baby Reindeer on Netflix. I see people talking about it a lot. Is it worth it? Best actor in a limited. Nothing I can talk about. Best actress in a limited or anthology. Sofia Vergara for Griselda. I tried to watch a little bit of that. Couldn't get into it. I don't know what that's about. Like, it was just, maybe it picks up later. Let me know. I tried. Best supporting actor in a limited anthology series or movie. I literally know none of these people and have watched none of these films. Best supporting actress in a limited or anthology series or movie. Asia Naomi King. Lessons in Chemistry, Apple TV. I usually will give everything on Apple TV a chance just because they're very picky about what they produce. I'll try it. I'll give it the pilot episode. Best directing for a drama series. Salli Richardson Whitfield. I've been waiting to get to this one. I'm so excited for her. Winning Time, The Rise of the Lakers Dynasty. That was one of the best shows on television. And they canceled it after season 2. Enough people didn't watch and it was really expensive to make. But it was good TV. But Salli Richardson Whitfield absolutely deserves that nod. I thought Salli Richardson got nominated for 2. Let me look this up. Because I want to say she got nominated for something for The Gilded Age as well. I'm glad I did look it up. She is the first Black woman to land a nomination for Outstanding Director for a Drama Series for HBO's Winning Time, which we just talked about. She's also an executive producer. This marks the first Emmy nomination for the veteran actress turned director. I'm reading again from Deadline. She also has an Emmy nod around the way, but nevertheless, for The Gilded Age, because she's an executive producer on the show. Good for her. Scrolling down this article, because it hinted at secrets about the next season of Gilded Age, season 3. She skipped directing The Gilded Age in season 2 to work on Winning Time. Turned out to be a good idea. Of what to expect from Gilded Age season 3, she says, we're definitely going to be embracing the Black elite storyline a lot more. I was telling HBO what a fan favorite that storyline is. Very true. She says, I get stopped in the street all the time by groups of Black women who say, we love this show so much. They're expanding on that storyline more. And Bertha continues to get into a lot of trouble. Oh, so exactly what I want. Excellent. All right, that's good. Where are we? Best Directing Comedy. Mary Lou Belly for the Miss Pat Show on BET. This is the first time I've seen BET pop up on the list. Best Writing for a Drama Series. Oh, Donald Glover in conjunction with Francesca Sloan for Mr. and Mrs. Smith Prime Video. That's the only name I recognize. Best Writing for a Limited. I don't know any of these. Best Writing for Comedy. Oh, Quinta, obviously, for Abbott Elementary.
Hey everybody, my name is Bob the Drag Queen.
And I'm Monet Exchange.
And we are the hosts of Sibling Rivalry. This is the podcast where two best friends gab, talk, smack, and have a lot of fun with our Black queer selves.
Yeah, for sure. And we are family, so we talk about everything, honey, from why we don't like hugs, to Black Lives Matter, to interracial dating, to other things. Right, Bob?
Yes, and it gets messy, and we are not afraid to be wrong. So please join us over here at Sibling Rivalry, available anywhere you get your podcast. You can listen and subscribe for free.
For free, honey.
We can talk about the Olympics next week. As of right now, the opening ceremony, I think, is occurring. Actually, it's 3:30. Is it still occurring? How long is the opening ceremony? It started at 1:30. The only thing I know about the opening ceremony, my mom texted me and she was like, they're going down the Seine. They're going down the Seine. We went down the Seine when I was there. And I was like, yes, mommy, when we were in France, we went down the river. It was a cloudy day. It was very beautiful. Even a bad day, bad weather in Paris is still in Paris. I saw Snoop. I'm almost done. I have to mention this. I saw Snoop was a torchbearer for the Olympics. You know, torchbearers are very prominent, respected, beloved members of a culture. That this is a very esteemed position. Doggy Style came out in 93. Snoop was introduced to us in 92 on the Chronic. I was either in 8th or ninth grade. I am now a grown-ass woman in my 40s. Snoop has been around for 30 years, steadily, solidly, with no breaks in between. You could never have told me when I was like, I don't know, 13 years old, that Snoop was going to still be a cultural touch point 30 and change years later. And then also that he was going to go from Doggy Style to so revered and respected and internationally known that he would be a torchbearer at the Olympics. Not even like a US Olympics, like the Paris Olympics. I saw it on his page and I was like, yo, it's been a wild ride. In my head, when I saw him bearing the torch and then also crip walking while he's carrying the torch. When I think of Snoop, and this is just off the top of my head, like obviously like rapper, and then obviously he's had his own wine. I think he had his own malt liquor at one point. Martha Stewart, porn, gospel, coached kids football, spokesman for a whole bunch of random products, cookbook. I think he does have his own strain of weed. I'd be disappointed in him if he didn't. If not his own strain of weed, his own dispensary. Let me look that up. Because I don't want to just throw shit out there, but I'm like, it has to exist. Yes, he has his own cannabis shop in California. Okay. That's just off the top of my head. So the official like Team USA account posted a video of Snoop bearing the torch. I commented something like, Snoop has one of the most epic and diverse career arcs ever. Just wow. So this woman comments in response, my kids watch him because of a cartoon. I watch him because, you know, I've grown up with Snoop. And my mother-in-law knows Snoop because he's always on like Mexican talk shows. Apparently Snoop really loves Mexican culture and is just on Mexican TV chatting it up and being wonderful all the time. But she was like 3 generations of people who all know him for different reasons. And I was like, yeah. And then somebody else came under the comment and they were like, well, yeah, like he's involved in a gang and then he was on case for murder and then he was doing porn. And I was like, yeah, like all of these things are true. Everything that you said is true. I said the man was diverse and epic. I didn't say it was moral and ethical. There's difference. All right, that's the episode. There's so much going on, but I can't pack everything into one episode. But here we are, nevertheless. Have an excellent weekend. I hope to feel better soon. I really want to go to this Meg show on Sunday at Broccoli Festival. I've been confined to this bed for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I feel better, but I'm still not best. I still need at least the rest of the day for rest. And then I can go out again. God willing. Pray for me. All right. Talk soon. Bye. What's the one thing most history books all over the world have in common? That they're seriously lacking in the melanin department. Wondery's podcast, Black History for Real, introduces you to the most overlooked Black history makers you should already know about. In recent episodes, they've told the story of women of the Black Panther Party, like Assata Shakur, who's still a fugitive in exile, and Elaine Brown, the first female chairperson of the party. And there's so much more, like why a young Samuel L. Jackson got expelled from Morehouse College, and why country keeps trying to keep Beyonce out. Follow Black History for Real on the Wondery app or wherever you get your podcast. You can listen to Black History for Real early and ad-free right now by joining Wondery Plus. Discover more to the story with Wondery's other top history podcasts, including American History Tellers, Legacy, and even The Royals.